Hey guys, Brian the Shaving Geek here with another episode of my shave of the day. And today I had a wonderful shave to start out the day. I'm actually doing this video a little later in the day than I normally do, but still enjoyed it, and so we'll tell you about it in a minute. First of all, though, I did want to give a shout out to my buddy Ronnie Greher. Did a wonderful hysterical parody of me, and so I will link to it below. So you can watch it and enjoy. But thanks, Ronnie. I thought that was hysterical. So for my shave today, again, this is my continuation of my use of the products that I picked up at the meetup in Foxwoods a couple of weeks ago. Really enjoying myself working through these products, and today was no different. For my brush today, I actually went back to kind of the synthetic brush that started it all for me, and I think for a lot of people. It's this here brush, the Plisson, that really took the shaving community by storm almost 2 years ago now, I think, or maybe even close to 3 years ago. But this really, for all intents and purposes, was, at least in my opinion, the synthetic that really started synthetics, or the popularity of synthetics. Now, this is a bit of a floppy brush compared to the other synthetics that I have. It doesn't have quite the backbone, but still a nice brush, and still one that I enjoy using. It's kind of funny. I remember back when these hit the market, and then L'Occitane took them off the website, and these things were almost like gold for a while, and now you can get a nice synthetic that's every bit as good as this, and maybe even better for really cheap money. These things are cheap. So capitalism really sucks, because competition has driven the price of these brushes down, and we all know that's a horrible thing. So anyhow, not to get all political on you, although I am thinking about starting a political YouTube channel, but more to come on that. Got some ideas formulated in my mind, but we're not going to go there today. We're just talking shaving, and I love that brush. On to my razor today. For my razor, I used my Fatboy, and this is really a razor that when I first got it, I picked it up at an auction in a lot of razors several years ago. When I first got it, I really didn't understand the hype. Quite frankly, you know, I heard a lot of people loved the Fatboys. It was a razor that was sought after, and I got it, and for me it was just initially. I worked my way through it though. I tried different settings, and I have found that on the Fatboy, a 5 works very, very good for me, which is a little bit different than how I run my toggle. My toggle I like on a 4, which is kind of funny. You would think that they're very similar heads, maybe even the same, I don't know, but just for some reason I find that I get a better shave, or I don't want to say a better shave, I just enjoy the shaves a little bit more when this is set on a 5 and when my toggle is set on a 4. Now, it could be all in my head, I don't know, but that's one of the things that's beautiful about this hobby, is do what you want. If it makes you happy, nobody can argue with you. Well, they can argue with you, but they're going to be wrong, right? So the thing about this, though, is I have really, really grown to love this razor. Like I said, when I first got it, I was just kind of, I don't understand what all the hype is. But the more I've used it, the more I've fallen in love with it. And between the toggle and this, I'm trying to think of maybe a couple of, you know, definitely my injectors. I love those. And my grandfather's Milord, and then my DE89, the first razor I ever had. Those are probably these are the razors that are probably in my top 5, and the ones that I have a tendency to gravitate towards the most. Now, we'll see if that Maggard slant sneaks in. I've really been enjoying using it, but I've had the Merkur 37C, I think is what it is, and it's never really snuck into my rotation as far as a razor that I really, really love. But this Fatboy is definitely one of the ones that is a go-to for me, and I really enjoy it. Although I've got a piece of, it's driving me nuts here, a piece of long hair. All right, it's gone. So that's what I use today. Now, for my blade, I actually got out a fresh Personna Blue. Jason Spiegelman, I believe it was this morning, it might have been late last night, I don't really remember exactly when it was, but he posted on the Shave Market a bit of a mini rant against Personna blades. How much he didn't like them, how much they sucked, and how much he hated them. I don't know if maybe it was that strong, but he just doesn't seem to like them. And I've always had good luck with the reds. And somehow I got a hold of these Personna, I think these are what people refer to as Med Labs, these blue ones. And the reason why they're referred to as Med Preps or whatever, I don't know, is because if you look right here, it says for hospital use, and then it says made in the USA, and you can see it's maybe a little better on that side of the blade. So I loaded it up into this Fatboy. I don't think I've ever used one of these in a Fatboy before, and quite frankly, I enjoyed it. They worked well. They worked well for me. So it's kind of funny how different razor blades work good for some people and they don't work good for other people. I've also found that some razor blades work well in one razor and they don't work so well in another razor. So now Jason's somebody who by no means am I questioning his experience. Jason is a very experienced shaver, but what I found is if I don't like it in one razor, I'm going to try it in another razor before I just say, hey, I'm getting rid of it, I don't like them, they suck for me. And I've also found that sometimes I'll get a dud of a blade, so before I just discount all razor blades of a particular type, you know, I'm going to experiment. But I know Jason does that. So, but for me, the Personna Blues seem to be like a good blade, so very happy to have those. It was a comfortable shave. Wasn't the best shave? No. Was it my favorite blade? No. But it still is a good blade for me, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now, for my soap today, this is one of the meetup things. This was in the swag bag. And this is a nice sample here of Miami Nights that I picked up from the Shave Worx. Or actually, it was, I think, in the swag bag. Whew, that's real nice. Definitely a cologne type scent, along the same lines of what I would say maybe Courage from Soap Commander. It's just kind of got that almost Axe body spray-ish type scent, but not irritating and cheap and going to make you smell like a 12-year-old boy either. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely in the vein of, you know, one of those kind of more cologne-y type scents, and I really, really enjoyed it. Very good performance, no problem whatsoever, whipping up a nice lather, and just really, really felt good on the face. And the scent strength on this is very nice. I would say, whew, I have no problem picking this up right out of there. I don't have to work at all. Where Courage that I have here from Soap Commander, this is one that I really, really like that I would say is in the same vein, but I definitely have to work a little bit harder to pick that up. So excellent scent, but it's not as strong off the puck as this is from KShave Worx. So really enjoyed this. I would give it a scent strength of maybe 7.5-ish, and good stuff. Probably not the best pairing that I've ever done for an aftershave, but this is definitely a cologne type scent, and that's the Fine Platinum from Mr. Fine, and this is just good stuff. There's something about this. Again, one of the things I've talked about is how a scent can connect you with a memory, and this Fine Platinum, for some reason, really it takes me back to a church camp that I used to go to in my teenage years, and a lot of fond memories, a lot of good times there. So it's just funny how a scent can take you on a journey like that. That was my shave today. Had a wonderful shave. Looking forward to tomorrow. We've got a shave set up to celebrate Jeff in the shave market, and so I'm going to go old school there, and I got that all lined up. So I'm actually going to be using gear that I've had for a long time, but I'm still going to do a video on it and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But until then, this is Brian, the Shaving Geek, reporting live from my shave den, wishing you a lifetime of happy shaves. Have a great day, everybody.